you are struggling with a high blood pressure and you have done everything you could and it's still not working for you, I'm here to tell you today that there's a hope. So one of my audience asked me how I dropped my blood pressure. So today I'm here to tell you from A to Z what I have done and where I am today. So let's dive into it. So one day I was at work and I started feeling dizzy and I have headache. So I have decided to see my doctor. So in the office, that's where my blood pressure was 165 over 92. So I was given a prescription and also given a CT angiogram. So I have decided to start first with lifestyle changes before any prescription. So I was asked to return to the office within 1 month. So I decided to change my diet. So the first thing I did, I want to become a vegetarian. So my meats, all my meat, I changed everything that is meat into mushroom, and I was eating greens, everything, completely vegetarian. So within 1 month, I returned to the office and my blood pressure was 122 over 80. And my doctor asked me if I was taking the medicine. And I said I wasn't taking the medicine. I didn't get it. So I showed him the photos of the food I was eating. So it was working for me. But then one day I woke up, I ate my breakfast because that time I was eating, my breakfast was oatmeal, banana, blueberry, little bit honey. Those I was eating a lot of salad, vegetables, thing. But then one day I woke up in the morning, after I eat my breakfast, I started feeling warm in my head and it was getting really serious. And I'm like, what did I just do to myself? Then after research over research, it turns out to be there is something called brain fire. And that brain fire is what leads to that is there too much glucose is going into the brain. Too much sugar is going to the brain. It took me more than 2 months to recover from this. So in the journey to recover from there, I discovered that uh, eating a meat diet will help me recover from the brain fire. So that's where I discovered some other people like Dr. Walsh, who was on vegetarian diet for 20 years, and she was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. And that's what I discovered that meat diet can also help with the brain fire. And when I was on the vegetarian diet, my white blood cell also was dropping, but couldn't figure out how I can do all this thing together. So all of the sudden, eating the meat diet, my white blood cell was going up. I'm like, wow, this double dip. So the brain in fire also was resolved. My white blood cell was going up, and then I thought I got it all. Now I can stay on this diet. But then my blood pressure was going up now. It was still in 128 over 78, something like that. But I don't want my blood pressure to be in 120 something. I want my blood pressure to go way down below 120 over 80. So it turns out to be that the meat diet won't help me. I can understand that because of the saturated fat in the red meat that was causing my blood pressure to rise. So now, how can I balance between keeping my brain stable and my white blood cell stable and also my blood pressure stable? So that's where I start digging into things, and I came across food combination and also fasting and all that. Now everything become like experimenting. So when I started doing fasting, I noticed that after the fasting, my blood pressure was going down, and I was correlating that with the fact that the sugar, they also saying that high sugar can can spike your insulin, and your insulin, when your insulin is high, it can also raise your blood pressure. So doing fasting was lowering my insulin, and I was making correlation between all that. So now, how to put it together? So I started, decreasing. I was still, I returned back to the vegetarian kind, but now I'm like, okay, can I combine that with at least the chicken, something, or so it was a lot of discovery on the journey. So I would do this kind of a meal. I would eat this way, and I'll take my blood pressure. I'll do that for the whole week and check and see how my blood pressure will go, because I want to be able to control everything at the same time. So then I also discovered that my when I take a vitamin D, 10,000 units, I can still eat the meat and the red meat and still, control my blood pressure. So I was taking the vitamin D 10,000 units, and then I will because eat the red meat, because I also want to keep my white blood cell going up, because that's my immune system. So then my vitamin D level was going up. It went up to 122, which is too high. Now I have to stop taking the vitamin D. Now how can I be eating red meat? I can't eat red meat, and if I'm stopping the vitamin D, that was helping me lower my blood pressure. So it's experimental over experimental. So when I stopped taking the vitamin D3, then my blood pressure was going up again. Okay, now this is where I discover a food combination. There's something has to be about food combination in this equation. So then I discovered that I cannot eat starchy carbohydrate with fat. If I'm eating starchy carbohydrate, I cannot eat anything that is fat, because that kind of combination raises my insulin, and once the insulin is high, it also leading to high blood pressure. So that when I noticed that, then that's okay. That I noticed one, that I'm not gonna eat starchy carbohydrate with fat. This is the reason why I kept hearing from vegetarian community that don't eat fat. They keep saying don't do fat, because the vegetarian diet is a high carbohydrate diet, and combining a high carbohydrate diet with fat will raise your blood pressure. So now I find the real reason why. So I won't do that. So then say, okay, now there's another one that I cannot eat red meat with protein with starchy carbohydrate, because carbohydrates need alkaline environment for digestion, and red meat specifically, need acid environment to digest, for digestion. So those two things, you can combine them, eat them in the same plate like that. It will raise your blood pressure. Okay, I got two things, right? And then also I know fasting can, lower my insulin, that one. So I can, I started doing that one, sometime, and I was doing the combination, how to combine foods. I became so diligent on how to prep my meals at home. Now I can't eat outside anymore, because everything that my blood pressure doesn't want, that's what when I go order food, that's what I'm gonna get. So that's where meal prepping comes into play. I have to prep my meals overnight, and then the morning I wake up early in the morning, get go just do what I the food that I want specifically. I already know what I'm gonna eat, and then I just get it done, and then I get I eat twice, and then I also develop that I have to eat twice. The meal frequency, that's another thing that I discovered on the way. So I decided to eat twice a day, and it was working for me. So my breakfast, and then I'll eat my dinner early, around 3, 4 o'clock. I'm done with my dinner as well. So that also is a big deal to lower my blood pressure. So the eating frequency, also I will be listening to my body to see how I feel when I eat this food, and I notice there when sometimes, anytime I'm feeling warm in my head, I know there are some things not right, and then I can tell that's a lot of sugar going on. So I have to correct it. I kept correcting little by little. I kept correcting that. So right now, so what I'm doing is I focus more on the combination, food combination. I can eat almost everything that I want, but the way I'm combining them is the key. So when I combine fat with starchy carbohydrate, so and protein, red meat with starchy carbohydrate. So right now I'm doing a lot of fiber, I meal prep broccoli, bok choy, asparagus, leafy greens, all kind of vegetable I can eat. So meal prepping is the key. So if you don't prep the meal, you will be in temptation to eat something that is not available for you, and then that thing might raise my blood pressure. So that's what I'm doing now. So basically, that's how I was able to lower my blood pressure, and right now my blood pressure is always lower than 120/80. So sometimes I still eat the red meat, like going to social gathering, anytime, meeting people together. You don't want to separate. I don't separate myself. I still do that. And then what I do, so anytime I'm doing something like that, I make sure I have vitamin D 10,000 that I take, and then I enjoy together with people. So that's basically my story. So right now I'm working on a lot of things to give you, my audience, a lot of value. I want to provide you more value. I'm writing a booklet for you. I'm going to be doing webinar workshop for my community here, and I live in Virginia, beautiful area here, and I will be doing a lot of things. The booklet will be available on my website. So if you have a high blood pressure, and you need help, I've been helping people who have high blood pressure. Some people even have a diabetic, both combination. Those two things are linked together, right? So people I'm helping with high blood pressure, their doctor are removing them from their blood pressure medicine, and also from metformin, their diabetic medicine. So if you are struggling with high blood pressure and you need help, reach out to me, email me, and we'll take it from there. So if you like this video, give me thumbs up, share, and subscribe.